Matthew, thank you for some time today. I've had a bit of an inquiry over the last couple of days from my landlords in regard to the how to rent guide. There's been some changes. Could you let me know a bit of info about it?
Yeah, certainly, Adam. The changes to the How to Rent Guide, this is a document that is a legal requirement to issue to a tenant prior to them moving into a property or committing to a tenancy. Now, there's been a few different versions of it, and the most up-to-date version has just been released.
How do you go about serving the How to Rent guide?
Well, there are a number of ways that you can serve it to the tenants. First of all, in a hard copy, that's the easiest way, although you do also need to evidence that you have issued this. You can also issue it in an electronic copy. For instance, you can email it to the tenant, but you do also, again, need to have confirmed confirmation from the tenant that they're happy to receive it in this format. You can't just, for example, send a link to the guide, and that won't suffice. But the important thing is to document that you have actually issued this.
And what does that mean if the correct guide has not been issued?
Well, if you don't have the proof, documented proof that you have issued the guide, potentially you would not be able to issue a Section 21 notice, for example. So if your tenant stopped paying rent or was causing damage to the property or any other breaches of the tenancy agreement, you would find it very difficult to evict them. So it is a very serious matter.
What about existing tenancies? How are they affected?
So one of the issues here is that should a tenancy be renewed or become a statutory periodic tenancy, you do need to issue the most up-to-date guide at the time. Again, this is something landlords are falling foul of. If it becomes a contractual periodic tenancy, you don't need to reissue the guide. So it's really important to be clear about what is happening. Are you renewing the tenancy? Is it becoming a statutory periodic or a contractual periodic? That will make a significant difference because, again, if it's not done correctly, you could fall foul of the regulations and be unable to issue a Section 21 notice. One of the other challenges that landlords are facing at the moment is with the Right to Rent Guide, the How to Rent Guide, is going to be updated each and every time there are legislation changes. So it's important you're issuing the correct version. The challenge with this is there are somewhere in the region of 40 pieces of legislation changes happening for landlords over the next 18 months. So we could potentially see 40 different guides come out over the next 18 months. Now, how a landlord who's not working in this every day is supposed to keep up with that, to be honest, it's going to be impossible. So we're going to see, I think, a lot of landlords getting caught out with these minor changes. So it's really important to get some proper advice.
Matthew, I was also talking on another subject to one of my landlords the other day in regards to the Legionella risk assessment. Have there been any changes in that recently?
Fortunately, one of the other guides that the government have issued at the moment, the How to Let guide, they have clarified this point, and they have stressed specifically under water safety that a risk assessment, a Legionnaire's risk assessment, must be carried out. So I think they've now clarified that without that, you could fall into a lot of serious problems. And so what I would say, because of the complexities around this, is if there are any landlords out there or you have any landlords you're speaking to who would like some clarification on exactly what they need to do, please feel free to get in touch. I'm here and happy to help any landlords who may be unsure. It's a very complex area and it's definitely worth getting some professional advice on it. But we're here to help.
Thank you.
That's okay.